Hello and welcome back. We are moving on to solving two-step equations. Now these equations are going to be kind of in the form px plus q equals r. X basically means that this is our variable. Okay, we're going to, again, we change the variables. It's not always going to be an x. But you're going to have a coefficient and you're going to be adding or subtracting a constant. And then you're going to have a result, a solution. You're going to have a number or a constant on that side. So basically what we're doing is we're taking the one step that we've learned, the addition and subtraction and the multiplication and division, and we're putting them together into making two steps. And you'll see what I mean when we get into it. So quick reminder, when we have a problem like this, okay, you have your variable x plus 4 equals 5. You're going to subtract 4, right? You're going to do the opposite of adding 4, and you're going to do it to both sides. This cancels out. Now you have x equals 5 minus 4 gives you 1. Again, you probably said, well, I knew that x was going to be 1 because it's a number plus 4 equals 5. It's got to be a 1. This needs to be done this way, and you'll see why when we get to this kind of stuff. All right? So that's an example of addition. Again, subtraction is going to be similar. Now, multiplication and division, 3x, let's go with negative 4x equals 20, okay? Now remember, this is multiplication, so you're going to do division, and you're going to do that number, whatever that number is. It's a negative 4, so you must divide by a negative 4. This cancels out. This gives us x equals 4 goes into 25 times. Different signs are negative when multiplying and dividing. So this is just a quick reminder on these. We're going to take these, we're going to put them together. The trickiest part, and I'm going to say it over and over and over, is knowing which one to do first. Is it going to be addition, subtraction, multiplication, division? And when I put the problem up, you're going to see what I mean as in trying to kind of figure out which one to do. And the best way I can kind of explain it, there are a couple ways I can explain it. I'm going to try kind of all the different ways. Hopefully one of them will work for you. If not the first one, then hopefully the second one. But let's kind of get into it here. So let's start out with 2x plus 5 equals 21. All right, this fits the form or the kind of the formula we're talking about. P, which is our coefficient. Coefficient is 2. We have a variable, which I happen to use x this time. And then we're adding or subtracting a constant, which is what we have right here. We're adding 5. And it's going to equal our result or another constant, which is 21. Okay? So this is kind of the form we're dealing with for this lesson, for these problems, for this work that we're going to be working on. Now, let's walk through what we're talking about here. We have a 2 multiplied by x. So 2 times x plus 5. So we're adding 5. And then on the other side of the wall, I mentioned this I think one time, there's a wall right here and there's a 21. So this is one side, this is the other. Now remember, what we do to one side, we must do to the other. Now you might say, well, how do I know which, am I supposed to do this part first or this one? Okay, a couple of ways I like to think of it. Multiplication, the bonding, okay, this is the way I kind of like to explain it. The bonding and multiplication is stronger. Okay, your addition and your subtraction are kind of these ones that are kind of floating out there. They need to go first. They can go first. So they can move, you want to move this one, addition and subtraction first, then multiplication and division last. Okay, another way you want to think about it is order of operations. Okay, this is the way I kind of, that I show you guys. We're moving these multiplication and division are equal, and so are addition and subtraction. We go left to right. We're basically just kind of focusing on this part, but you're going to reverse order. Okay, so start at the bottom. Addition and subtraction first. They're the floaters. They're the kind of like, if you want to look at it as a third wheel, this is kind of a group. All right, these two are multiplied together or divided in some other cases that we'll be working on. So this bond is stronger. These will do last. Addition and subtraction first. Okay, so let's look at that and focus there. Let me take this down. Now, we're adding 5 to this. So we need to do the opposite of adding 5, the inverse operation. Subtract 5. what you do to one side, now this is important, what you do to one side, you must do to the other. Now, keep in mind, you did subtract 5 from this side. You do not subtract 5 from the 2x. You subtract 5 from this 5. You subtract 5 from the 21. You've subtracted 5 from both sides. This keeps the scales balanced. You take away 5 here, you take away 5 here, you're good to go. It's still an equation that can still be true. You haven't changed anything. All right, these cancel out. The 2x, just like earlier, how it was just an x, the x just moves down. Well, your 2x moves down. So we have 2x equals 21 minus 5. 21 minus 5 gives us a positive 16. Different sign subtract, take the sign from the larger number. Positive 16. Now we have a one-step equation that we just did in the video beforehand. Multiplication and division. Okay? Let's see. Let me write that a little. We'll move it a little closer. Okay. So we're multiplying 2 in the x, and then we have equals 16. So the opposite of multiplying by 2 is dividing by 2. This gives us just an x, right? 2 divided by 2 is 1, so 1x equals 6 divided by 2 is 8. Okay, I would suggest on this homework, again, I know I've given you the answers, plug these in real quick. I'm gonna show you what that means. 2 times x. Well, we think x is 8. So 2 times 8 plus 5 equals 21. Well, what's 2 times 8? 16. Plus 5 equals 21. What's 16 plus 5? 21. Does 21 equal 21? Yes, it does. Then our answer is correct. It does not take long just to quickly plug these in. I don't mind if you want to plug it in just in your head mentally and just do it in your head. Well, 2 times 8 is 16. 16 plus 5 is 21. I'm good to go. You don't have to write this down. You don't even really have to do this. But on a quiz or a test moving forward, you're missing the opportunity to like pretty much guarantee a 100 if you go back and you just check your work as you go. So kind of get in the habit maybe of doing that now. I'll leave that there. Let's do another one. Let's see here. Let's find one from over here. Let's see. Okay, let's not do that one just yet. All right, negative 10m plus 2 equals 152. All right, this one here, I'll put a big space between my 10 and my m for some reason. Okay, so again, what we're doing is we're multiplying between the negative 10 and the m, so that's multiplication. And then we have adding 2, and then we have our answer over here. So we're not going to separate these two until we get rid of this 2. So we do the opposite of adding 2, subtracting 2. Remember, we're always going to do addition or subtraction first in these cases. Save multiplication and division for last. So we're going to subtract 2, subtract 2. These cancel out. This gives us negative 10m. Remember, this just goes straight down. We didn't do anything to it, so keep it going. 52 minus 2 is 150. Different sign subtract. Take the sign from the larger number. Now, we are multiplying by negative 10, so do the opposite of multiply. Divide by negative 10. Negative 10 divided by negative 10 is 1. That's what we want. So that's m equals. Now, different signs are negative when you multiply and divide. 10 goes into 150 15 times. If you need to write it out, you can. 10 goes into 15 one time. 10 goes into 50 5 times, and then that's our answer, 15. Okay, and again, it's negative because we have a different signs here. Because you have a negative 10, so you need to make sure that you bring the negative 10 to both sides. You can double check this really quick. Negative 10 times negative 15 plus 2 equals 152. Negative 10 times negative 15. Same signs are positive when you multiply and divide. So 150 plus 2 equals 152. There we go. So we multiplied and then we added the 2. 152 does equal 152. So you did it right. Okay? Now, a couple of the problems on the work that are going to kind of trip you up. Let's do some of those other ones real quick. Let's see here. Okay, so we're going to have some problems like this. Now we did the division and the multiplication, so we're going to have some. Let's do a minus instead. Something like this. Let's make it a negative 12. Why not? All right. So in this case here, we have w, which are variable, divided by 2. Then we're subtracting 5, and that is going to equal negative 12. So again, like I said before, division and multiplication, think of it as a stronger bond. You can't break that until you've taken care of all the addition and subtraction. So this must go first. So the opposite of subtracting 5 is going to be adding 5. Add 5 to both sides. Once you've done that, w divided by 2 equals, now we have different signs subtract. That gives us a 7, and it's a negative 12, so it's a negative 7, okay? Now you look at it and you say, well, I'm dividing by 2. Well, what's the opposite of dividing by 2? Multiplying by 2. And what you do to one side, you do to both, or you do to the other, I'm sorry. They cancel out. W equals different signs when you're multiplying is negative. 7 times 2 is 14. Okay, so again, the process doesn't change. We know what to do with the division, with the fractions. It's the same as division, so you just do the opposite, which is multiplication. Now let's plug that in and find out. So where w is in the numerator. And this just kind of turns almost into an order of operations problem. This is a minus 5 equals negative 12. Well, what's negative 14 divided by 2? 2 goes into 14 7 times. We have different signs, so that's going to be negative. Negative 7 minus 5 equals 12. Now, I know some of you will do the same change. You don't have to do same change. We know the rules here where it's same signs add. So 7 and 5 makes 12. Keep your sign, negative 12. So this becomes negative 12. And it should equal negative 12, and it does. So we know that we're correct. So again, if you can do that in your head, you want to plug it in that way, that's fine. You don't have to write it down, but I'm telling you, by checking your own work will be greatly beneficial moving forward. All right. There was one more example I wanted to do with you guys, and then we'll do some examples, and then you'll do some examples, and then we will be done. Let's see, where is it? What is it? Yeah, I think it was one of those. All right, here we go. Let's go negative 8 minus 5, okay, equals negative 88. Okay, so for this problem here, we have been dealing with problems where our variable has always been like the first term. And as you can see here and all the other ones, you can look back, it doesn't always going to be the first term. And it's not even always going to be on the left side of the equation. I try to, as we're learning about this, it's going to stay on the left side of the equation. But as we move forward in pre-algebra and algebra, it's going to be on the left side, it's going to be on the right side. There's going to be variables on both sides. But to start out, I'm keeping all the variables on the left side. And in this case, it's our second term, okay? But it doesn't change the process. Negative 8 minus 5k. Now this 5k, think of the minus as a negative, right? Remember we talked about the signs in front, okay? So the sign in front of the 5 is a minus, so this goes with the k, or with the 5, and it's going to be equals negative 88. So what we're actually doing, let's see here. The terms are negative 8, and we have a negative 5k. This negative 5k is what's bonded with multiplication, so we need to keep that. We need to get rid of this negative 8, okay? The way that this is working is you have a negative 8, and then you're taking this away by using subtraction. So we're going to have to do the opposite of the negative 8, which becomes positive 8. That's how you get rid of this. It's going to be a little tricky. This is one of the reasons why I want to do this problem, okay? Negative 8 plus 8 gives us 0. So this in the blue box here goes straight down. This is negative 5k equals negative 88 plus 8. Different sign, subtract. Okay, this is 80. Take the sign from the larger number, negative. All right. Now we're looking at something we've done before. Okay, we should be a little more comfortable with this. We are multiplying. So when you're multiplying by negative 5, you do the opposite. Divide by negative 5. What you do to one side, you do to the other side. Okay, these cancel out. This gives you k equals negative by negative, which is also the same signs. We said same signs with division is a positive. 5 into 80, okay? That gives you, let's work it out over here and see. 5 into 8 goes once. 5, you get 3, oops. And a 0, 5 into 30 goes 6, positive 16. Okay? And you can plug this back in, multiply by the 5 and all that, and you can find out, but this is the correct answer. Let's do some sample problems. You guys work through those, and that will be it for this video. I hope as we're moving through these lessons and things, this is making sense, and hopefully that having the answer sheet for the work is also helping confirm that you are doing it correctly, and you need to show your work the way that I'm doing it. I know I've said that over and over and over, but it is important. All right, let's see here. Let's do this. Negative 9 plus v. Again, here's another one where your variable is not the first term, it's the second term. It doesn't change the steps. Okay, I want you to work on this. We'll see what you get, and then I'll work through it. Here we go. All right, so like the one before, hopefully if you took notes on the problem before, you can kind of use that as kind of a guide to help with this one. You have a negative 9 and you're adding a v divided by 5. That equals negative 11. Now remember, this right here is a bond that cannot be broken. We don't want to break it until this is gone. Okay, this negative 9, all right? We need to remove him and move him over here by doing the inverse operation. So negative 9, okay? This can be written differently where you're actually subtracting 9 and negative 9 is actually subtracting 9. So you're going to do the opposite and add 9. They cancel out, that's what we want. We have v divided by 5 equals, now remember, this positive on the problem we just did, it had a minus in front, so think of it as a negative. Think of this as a positive. You don't have to write a plus sign down here. So a positive is just these here. Negative 11 plus 9. Different sign, subtract, take the sign from the larger number. We get negative 2, okay? Now, we are dividing by 5, so we do the opposite of dividing by 5. Multiply by 5. 5 divided by 5 is 1. That gives us 1v. So v equals negative 2 times positive 5. Different signs, negative. 2 times 5 is 10. Answer is negative 10. You can plug this back in. Negative 10 divided by 5, because the order of operations say you do the division here first. That gives you 2. I'm sorry, negative 2. Negative 9 plus a negative 2 is a negative 11. I just kind of verbally talked you through it, but you can write it out and make sure you can check your own work there. All right, let's do another one. Let's do, I think I did one like this one already. Actually, I'll make that positive. There we go. n divided by 2 minus 2 equals 24. I want you to work this one out and see what you get. All right, so like before, there's division going on here. We must take care of the minus 2 first. So the opposite, or the inverse operation, when we're dealing with subtraction is addition. So we're going to add 2, add 2. They cancel. This gives us n divided by 2 equals 24 plus 2 is 26. Now we are dividing by 2. The opposite of dividing by 2 is multiply by 2. This cancels out. N equals positive 13 because the same signs are positive. Okay, you can plug it back in. I did something wrong. Oh, it's multiplied by 2. I apologize. Some of you are probably like yelling at your screen like, no, that's not right. 26 times 2 for, is it 52? 12, 4, 5, yep, 52. Okay, there we go, that seems better. Now you can plug that in, 52 divided by 2, and then you subtract 2, you should have 24, okay? All right, let's do maybe one more. Just want to make sure that we're practicing this correctly, or working through this correctly so that we can do the work correctly. All right, let's see, let's do, this one here, 3x plus 9 equals 33. So go ahead and work on this one and see what you get. First thing you should see, again, multiplication here. So we are adding 9, so we need to take care of this adding 9 first. The opposite would be subtract 9. They cancel out. You have 3x equals, now different sign subtracting, sign from a larger number. And we have, is that 20? Is that right, 24? Should be 24. Yes, 24? No, I'm off. It is 24, sorry about that. All right, I doubted myself. All right, so it's 24. Now you're gonna take the 3 and you're going to divide both sides by the positive 3 because you're multiplying, so we're going to divide. And this gives you x equals, 3 goes into 24, now it's the same sign, so it's gonna be positive. 3 goes into 24, 8 times. Now let's check this real quick and make sure. 3 times 8 is 24, 24 plus 9 is 33, so we know we've done it correctly. All right, let's do one more, let's do one more. Do I have one here? Let's see. I've done most of these. I don't think I've done this one. If I have, then you guys got an easy one if you've already written it on your notes. If we haven't done it, let's get it done. All right, go ahead and work on this one, see what we have. This is -1 minus 9v equals -37. Let's see what you get. All right, so again, this one is a little bit backwards. Your variable's not the first term, it is in the second term, and that's okay. The minus 9v goes with the 9v, so that's like a -9v. So this is the -1 is what we need to get rid of. So the opposite of that is we need to add 1 to get rid of that -1 or that -1 there. So add 1, add 1. This is gone. We get -9v equals -37 plus 1. There's different signs, so we subtract. Take the sign from a larger number. Now we have a -9. Remember, don't forget that minus sign. The signs in front are important. Don't forget the signs in front. So the sign in front of the 9 was a negative, so that must go with it. It's a negative. So we divide by the -9. What you do to one side, you do to the other side. Okay, cancel those out. V equals, and then same signs same signs positive. 9 goes into 36. What do we have? 1, 2, 3 times? 4 times. 4 times, sorry. +4. I'm all messed up on my math today. So we get a +4. We can plug that in and just kind of confirm it. 4 times the 9, okay? 4 times 9 is the 36. -1 minus 36 does give us a -37. So there's a quick way to, again, plug them in and check your answers. I hope this helps you. I hope this gets you through your work. If you have any questions, again, reach out. You're doing great. Keep it up. we are moving from solving two-steps equations like this. We're going to kind of step out of solving equations to kind of go into distributing the distributive property, which I believe is not a new concept for you, but just a quick reminder before we move into the next of solving two steps. Thank you guys, and I'll see you later.